Hello all, welcome to our channel, where we bring you the most entertaining, intriguing, and thought-provoking tales from the vast world of Reddit. Today we are going to dive deep into two stories. So let's begin. Story number 1. Am I the A-word for telling my husband that I can't do this anymore after he quit his job to work with his mother? We are due to have our daughter in 2 weeks and planned ahead of time so I could stay home for a year with her, while I'm nursing. We saved around $26,000, plus took into consideration that at his job he was making $3,000 a month, $23 hourly. Our bills for the year come out to around $46,000. Since we got pregnant, his mom has been super overbearing with the boy mom bullshit. She's been trying to force her way into our lives in ways that I'm not okay with. Like trying to convince us to buy a house with her so she can help raise her baby's baby. My husband actually considered this and I shot it down immediately. Has been stopping in whenever she feels like it with stuff for him and him only. Like she literally brings him food, one serving, only enough for him, around dinner time probably 2 to 3 days a week, saying, "I just know you miss mama's cooking." Keeps buying him mom plus son jewelry, knowing he won't wear jewelry and tells me he will wear it. It's a mom and son thing, you wouldn't understand. When I tell her he's not going to wear it, he hasn't worn any of it. She is 100% treating him like he is her husband. Calling him to go do things for her all hours of the day/night and all around, just trying to get him out of our house and over to hers. On the off chance that he does go over, she's all like, "Since you're here, I will let you treat me to a mom and son date at Denny's." Or when she's here, she will look at me and tell me how she takes her coffee and expect me to make it for her. I know I'm rambling, but this woman is batshit fucking crazy, and no, she was not like this prior to me getting pregnant. They barely spoke before I got pregnant. As soon as she found out we were having a baby, she sunk her claws in. With the whole, "my baby isn't a baby anymore" bullshit. We are literally in our 30s. So if all else wasn't insane enough, she's been trying to convince my husband for at least 3 months to quit his job, search and rescue, and go work with her so they can spend more time together. She works at a medical rehab facility. I told him I won't tolerate that for one reason: it's $13 an hour. $10 less an hour than he makes now. I've talked reason with him. Like if he goes there, I will end up having to go back to work because $13 per hour cuts his monthly income in half, just about, and this is not what we agreed to or planned for. Not only that, but her job is bi-weekly pay and doesn't have benefits for a year. He had full benefits at his job. He told me he didn't want to work with his mom and not to worry about it. About 2 months ago he said that. But I just found out last night that he did in fact quit his job and applied at the place his mom works and bypassed the interview process because mommy vouched for him. So now he has a job with her. I wasn't nice about it when he told me, admittedly. I asked him why the fuck he would do that and he goes, "Well, my mom is getting older and she wanted me to work with her so we can hang out more before she passes. She's literally 61 and healthy." I slept on it and decided I couldn't do this. I told him this morning that I couldn't do this. I'm not going to be overruled by a woman who refuses to stay in her lane. I'm not going to bow down to a mama's boy or a woman who grossly won't leave her son alone. He can do it on his own and we can do this separately. I told him I will take the money I saved, $23,000 of the $26,000, and figure it out on my own, and that he needs to leave and go back to sucking mommy's tit at her house. He, for whatever reason, is shell-shocked that I'm taking it this far, and says I'm an AH for not understanding that his mother getting older and wanting to spend time with him should be important. I'm not budging though. He's allowing her to destroy our lives. Edit 1. I want to touch base on finances real quick for the people commenting. Being a single mom is going to be great. If he was to leave and we get divorced, my bills would reduce by at least 1/4, if not more. I've been helping him pay off his student loan debt for 5 years and the price keeps increasing, so there's no end in sight. With the $23,000 that I saved, I could pay for my home and bills for a year and a half. When I add his bills and his debt to the equation, it won't even cover a year. I'm not afraid of single motherhood. He would be involved regardless if we separate as well. Edit 2, he signed a prenup. I owned the house long before we started dating. I withdrew $23,000 from the bank and put it in my personal account. I already spoke to an attorney and I'm in the clear to do so because I have a paper trail on what was mine versus what was his. I'm an accountant. Numbers and money are kind of my specialty. I have it all handled, legality-wise. Now let's move on to story number 2. Am I the A word for breaking up with my fiancé and he ends up getting cut out of his grandma's will? I, 22 female, broke up with my fiancé, 23 male, and he ended up getting cut out of his grandma's will. This is not my main account. I just had to get this out there, and my friends and fiancé know my personal account. A little backstory is that my fiancé and I have known each other since we were in elementary school and grew up with each other. We both come from religious families, this is important for later. When we graduated high school, I chose to go to college, and he went to the military. At that point, we were dating for 2 years, and then we got engaged when I was 21 and he 22, so a year ago. We were doing long distances cause he was stationed in a different state. The plan was that I was going to graduate college and then go down there and find a job where he is stationed. A couple of months ago, I got a call from a friend who lives down there, and he told me that my fiancé is dating another girl and has been for months now. He sent me pictures and her social media. My fiancé was coming home for a couple of weeks for my graduation. I thought it would be a good time to talk this out rather than over the phone. When he came back, I sat him down and asked him. He did not deny it. He said that he likes her but loves me. I am heartbroken. We have been together for years now, and he did this. I called off the engagement and broke up with him. Now, here is where religion comes in. I was raised with you, and I didn't have sex before marriage, and he was the same. I know some people think this is weird, it is just how I was raised. We had this talk when we got together about not having sex before marriage, and we both agreed to wait while he decided when he was down there he would get a girlfriend to take care of his needs. After we broke up, I talked to my parents about it and the change of plans. I called his family and talked to them. It is not unusual for me to talk to his family because I help his sister, 16F, if she has a problem or just needs a girl to talk to that is not her parents or a friend of hers. So I called and they invited me to dinner. I went and told them what happened because he did not, he just said we are having a fight. The grandma was there, and she was pissed. I used to go over every week to play mahjong with her because I love to play, and no one else in her family likes to. She kept begging me to take back her grandson and that she would force him to make up with me. I didn't put much thought into it because she was mad. A couple of days later, he was blowing up my phone with calls and messages. His grandma is cutting him out of the will unless he gets back together with me and we get married. I told him no because he hurt me, and nothing he can say will make me take him back. No, I will not be doing that. His family is really well off and has a very successful business, so when his grandma dies, he is supposed to take over, but if he is cut out, he cannot, and he will get nothing. He even tried to pay me to marry him. I was talking to some of my friends, and they think I am the asshole and should forgive him and get married to him just so he is back in the will. Because, I am just mad now and this will ruin his life, and think about him and his future. So many of my friends are saying this. I am starting to think about it. What do you think? Am I the A word? Now let's move on to story number 3. Am I the A word for breaking up with a girl for telling her friends I have small manhood? I have been dating a girl for around 3 months. We finally hooked up and I thought everything was fine. Now for context, I consider myself to have an average-sized penis, perhaps on the smaller side of average. Not entirely sure if it's TMI to post specifics, but I will admit it does look pretty small when soft. Obviously posting from a throwaway as it's embarrassing. She's always been super opinionated on penis size. Uses terms like small dick energy, etc., but I never thought anything of it or let it affect me. As I said, I consider myself average. And if you ever pull anyone up on mocking penis size, it's, haha, you must have a small dick, so I just never bothered. So anyway, after the hookup a few days later, we are hanging out with her friends after work for drinks. I can feel a weird atmosphere, like her and the other girls have been talking about me, like sharing a strange smirk with each other when they first saw me. And her friends are cracking indirect small penis jokes, making me super paranoid. I felt embarrassed but didn't show it. On the way back to my apartment, I asked if she shared intimate details about me with her friends, and she said no, she would never. I'm not proud, but as I felt she wasn't telling the truth, later that night I went on her phone while she was in the shower and went straight to her girls' group chat on WhatsApp, and man, I tell you, it was the most emasculating thing I have ever been through. Like an hour after hooking up, she was roasting me about my size, telling her girls how small I felt in her hands, how her dildo at her house was at least 4 times bigger and thicker, that she was disappointed. She even said Aaron really ruined things for me, which is probably a dude from her past who is super huge, which makes average look small to her. This girl was even saying I had small balls. So now I can't let it go, and it's messed with my self-esteem massively. I asked her to leave when she got out of the shower, and I've been ghosting her for about 4 days now without an explanation because I am so embarrassed to even talk to her. No doubt I will get some mean comments mocking me by dudes, but please have some sensitivity to this topic. Do I confront her about this? Do I forgive her? Have any guys been through this? Have any girls done this? I feel like she really didn't value my privacy, and I wouldn't dare share intimate details about her. There are things I could say about her body, but I'd never do that to another person. That's all for today, folks. See you tomorrow.